Eala sounds calm amid flood of fake news about her online. Most of the fabricated stories aren't exactly harmful, meant to get clicks than to harm Eala's reputation. But these are nonetheless fake and meant to deceive. Eala's stardom continues to rise, so does the flood of fake information surrounding her. Unscrupulous online pages have preyed on her growing fanbase and a Philippine tennis audience still finding its footing and learning its ways around the sport. From clickbait articles to fabricated quote cards, edited tweets falsely attributed to public figures, and even AI-generated images of the 20-year-old in situations that never happened, misinformation has followed Eala's ascent. At the end of her campaign at the first-ever WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open campaign, Eala finally addressed the issue, recognizing the enormity of the problem but admitting her camp is powerless to do something about it. "I don't have power over what other people post. I am aware that there have been a lot of fake news articles," Eala said after her quarter-final loss to eventual champion Camila Osorio at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center. "It is concerning because I see sometimes they get a lot of likes and it's difficult to understand, to tell the difference when you see it online," she added. Eala's fake news dilemma is no different from other celebrities, but hers has become progressively worse since she made the breakthrough run to the semifinals of the WTA 1000 Miami Open in March, perhaps because the Philippines has one of the biggest population of internet users in the world. Her father, Mike Eala, also acknowledged the challenge of misinformation in today's digital landscape, noting it as an inevitable byproduct of her growing profile. "It is true that there have been so many fake news on Alex. We choose to focus our energy on things that are positive and can help her get to her goals," he told Spin.ph last November. "The stories come in various forms, from heartwarming to the absurd, sweet to unbelievable. But it's all the same, fake, made-up stories." Take a look at this Facebook post about Jordan Clarkson, the Phil-American NBA guard and a former Sixth Man of the Year awardee, supposedly smitten with Eala. Or another post by the basketball hype page supposedly of NBA star Anthony Edwards inquiring about Eala, and Kevin Durant even chiming in. There, too, are woven stories of 1. Eala talking about how hard his dad Mike supposedly once working as a waiter, 2. Of Eala giving a waitress a generous tip while in Thailand, 3. Of Eala signing a $45 million endorsement deal with Wilson, 4. Of Eala getting invited to a charity tennis match by billionaire Jeff Bezos, and 5. Of Eala's mom Riza buying the tennis court where she learned the sports as a child. It only gets worse. Just last week, veteran broadcaster Mel Tianko found the need to speak up at the end of her early evening newscast to deny claims made by unscrupulous pages that she hurled some insulting words at Eala, false accusations that were likewise attributed to Rappler founder Maria Ressa months before. Most of the fabricated stories woven by these pages weren't exactly harmful to Eala, meant more to draw clicks than damage her reputation. But these stories are still fake and continue to deceive netizens, sometimes even the discerning ones. A study made by Thenerve.co revealed these pages earn anywhere from $109, P6, 400, a month for the small pages to as much as $40,157, 2.4 M, for the big ones running around 20 ads in each of their pages. Eala now turns her focus to her next assignment to the WTA 500 Mubadala in Abu Dhabi as she continues to her campaign at the highest levels of tennis. But before leaving Manila, she issued a clear reminder to fans and readers alike to be more discerning online. "I know a lot of people sometimes can get misinformed. I guess my take would be to tell them to just try to find reliable sources of news and just try to listen to the dependable outlets. That's all I can say," she added. For the Eala camp, the stance is firm: block out the noise. What remains is a call for Filipinos to be more mindful of what they read and share. Get more of the latest sports news and updates on Spin.ph. Notice on unauthorized and unlawful use, publication, and/or dissemination of Spin.ph content. Please be notified that any unauthorized and unlawful use, publication, and/or dissemination of Spin.ph's content and/or materials is a direct violation of its legal and exclusive rights to the same, and shall be subject to appropriate legal action / est the sound of her name. In the quiet moments between practice sessions, Eala sometimes imagined what her name sounded like online. Not how it was spoken by commentators, clear, confident, proud, but how it fractured across screens. Typed too fast, copied without thought, twisted into headlines that screamed louder than the truth ever could. It was strange how soundless the internet was, yet how loud it felt. Alex had learned early that silence was part of discipline. Tennis demanded it. The breath before a serve. The pause after a rally. The calm acceptance of a point lost. Silence was honest. It never pretended to be something else. But online, silence didn't exist. One morning, her phone buzzed endlessly. Notifications stacked like unforced errors. Messages from friends came first. "Are you okay?" Then strangers followed, bold and careless, convinced they knew her story better than she did. Somewhere between a practice drill and a water break, Alex realized her name had become a headline again. Not for a match won or a milestone reached, but for something shakier. Something untrue. Fake news didn't arrive like a single lie. It came like a flood. It borrowed real photos, real quotes, real moments, and rearranged them into a version of her that barely resembled the person tying her shoelaces on court. It spread faster than forehands, faster than facts. People shared without checking, commented without caring, judged without knowing. And every post said her name, Eala. Each repetition felt like a sound calling out to her, pulling at her attention, asking for a reaction. The internet wanted her angry, defensive, broken. It wanted spectacle, not silence. But Alex had grown up learning that not every call deserved a response. On the court, when a ball clipped the net and dribbled over unfairly, you didn't argue with the air. You reset. You focused on the next point. You trusted that the game, over time, revealed who had trained for truth and who relied on luck. Still, the weight was real. Fake news had a way of shrinking people, of turning years of work into a single misleading sentence. It ignored the early mornings, the blistered hands, the quiet sacrifices made far from cameras. It ignored the human cost. That night, Alex sat alone, scrolling less and thinking more. She remembered being a kid, gripping a racket bigger than her confidence, dreaming not of fame but of improvement. Back then, her name only mattered to her coach, her family, and herself. It stood for effort, for learning, for showing up again after losing. She wondered when a name stopped being a person and started becoming a product. The flood eventually slowed. Fake news always moved on, chasing the next trending topic, the next borrowed face. What remained were traces, screenshots, half-remembered rumors, digital echoes that lingered longer than apologies ever did.